Hey guys, we are about to get into the pre-show for our first pay-per-view of the series, Malice in Wonderland. Have quite a few interesting matchups at this pay-per-view. Quite a few things I'm excited to get into. As far as news of the past week goes, only real one thing that happened, and that is we got this wrestler on excursion from Pride and Glory. He is all right. Like he's got some green already, but I mean, pretty raw still. But we got him for 2 years, and yeah, he can just kind of I don't know, be kind of a jobber for a while, and then if he turns into anything else, he'll turn into something else. Let's go ahead and get ready to get in this creative meeting, though. Excited to see what this entails. All right, give the night off. This might be important because it's an actual pay-per-view. So who are people that I'm not using 100% certainty? It's so hard though because you know you want to leave people on, and then if you maybe want to use them for like a I don't even know, like a battle royal or something, or a pre-show match or whatever. Oh, I'm making this way too hard of a decision. We're just going to go forward. All right, select tonight's location. I already knew that I wanted to do the Southwest for this one. Let's pick the best location in the Southwest. Pick the best option. Nevada State Armory. Finalize broadcasters. Automatic selection. Awesome. Booking team meeting. Here we go. No pre-show incidents. Awesome. We got 228. And I do think I'm going to spend some on a storyline idea this time, because what I read is that the storyline ideas can also give the people in them a morale boost, and I have a couple of people who are a little irritated right now. Let's see what it gives us. A safe bet with no restrictions, but it does expire like in a month, but that's still pretty cool. Save that, and then oh, I already have one with that name. Let's just do safe bet. Boom. Alrighty, go ahead and exit out of that. Exit out of that. Locker room incidents. Jay Cord came up to us with a creative finish. It's been added to our stored creative finishes or stored creative ideas. Oh, Sean Dokes and Jay Cord had a blazing argument outside the venue. That is interesting. Huh. We'll see what comes of that. Let's address the locker room. Let's see. Do they have a bad relationship now? No. Everybody's still got a good relationship. Okay, well, let's just go ahead and move on forward, and we'll see you guys at our beginning of our first pay-per-view of the series, Malice in Wonderland. Live in front of 27,805 fans in the Nevada State Armory, we bring you our first pay-per-view of the series, Malice in Wonderland. We're going to kick things off with Flying Jimmy Fox debuting a new spot that showcases athletic ability. Psychology will be helped. Ooh, and a bout that had fantastic heat and good wrestling. Aaron Andrews defeated Joshua Taylor in 1742 by pinfall with a gamma drive. Taylor goes on the offensive first, but Andrews has a reversal for everything Taylor throws at him. Eventually, a high roundhouse kick is ducked by Andrews. Taylor gets turned around. Andrews grabs Taylor's arm and pulls it back between his legs and plants him with a pump handle slam. Sensing he's in trouble, Taylor rolls out of the ring and begins to collect himself. Andrews looks at Taylor, then at the crowd, then back at Taylor. At ringside, he hits the ropes and dives over the top rope, front flipping over and landing on Taylor, who catches Andrews and slams him onto the apron with a sloppy powerbomb-like maneuver. Andrews collapses, and he could barely pull himself over to the ring steps to prop himself up. Taylor grabs his left arm and wedges it between the ring post and the steel steps before charging full speed and kicking the steps. crushing Andrew's arm in the middle. He flails in pain on the ground. Taylor grabs him and tosses him into the ring and goes to lock on an arm bar on the Ace's injured arm. But Andrews quickly grabs the ropes. The next few minutes consist of Taylor trying and failing to get a good armbar locked on. Finally, giving up on that strategy, he turns to kicking the chest of Andrews as he kneels in the ring. Feeding off the crowd, Andrews fights through the pain and gets back to his feet. Taylor jumps on him and locks in a standing Kimura. Andrews drops to one knee, clearly in pain. He rises again and punches Taylor in the gut rapidly with his good hand, and an amazing feat of strength reverses the Kimura into a suplex with his bad arm. Andrews fires up with multiple strikes, outclassing Taylor with essentially one-handed, and ends it with a gamma drive. 82, and Aaron Andrews seemed off his game. That is because we had a creative finish, and it was a success. That was kind of the, I don't know necessarily the finish. The gamma drive, I guess, was the creative finish, but I was thinking more so the Kimura spot where he did the really cool suplex. But yeah, what a great way to start the show with our best match we've had yet. But I'm honestly not surprised. Moving along now. Our next match. In a decent match, Bradley Blaze defeated Killer Shark in 9:51 by pinfall with a roll-up. Blaze tries to blindside Shark with punches early, but is swatted away. Shark walks over and picks up Blaze, hurling the 6'5" brawler across the ring with ease. He goes to pick Blaze up again, but is caught with an uppercut, staggering Shark. Blaze tries to follow up, but gets an overhand chop to the chest for his trouble. Blaze cocks back and swings at Shark, who catches it with one arm before picking up and chokeslamming Blaze with the other. He goes for the cover and gets the near fall, but Shark stays on the opponent and keeps the brawler grounded, even stepping on Blaze's chest and walking across him at one point. He eventually gets Blaze up for a big bite, held out in front of him. Shark curls Blaze up to slam him down, but eats an elbow to the face and another, forcing him to drop Blaze. Blaze tries to find his footing, but Shark charges as if to plow through Blaze. He sidesteps Shark's attack, sending the 400-plus pounder into the turnbuckle at full speed. Blaze jumps on Shark's back, locks in a rear naked choke, harkening back to their first encounter. But this time Blaze quickly releases the hold, and he hits a roll-up. And, pins Killer Shark. 1, 2, 3. Floyd Goldworthy did good work at ringside, and our commentary team's pretty good. 58 rated segment. Moving on. Alright. And about that had good heat and decent wrestling. Doc Hammond defeated Tana the Mighty in 8:28 by submission with a Texas Cloverleaf. Hammond starts the match, but just trying to get Tana off his feet, but he's tossed aside at every attempt. Doc rethinks his strategy, letting Tana go on the offensive, blocking chops and overhand strikes and sidestepping others. Tana catches up to him with a right hook at one point and begins to chop Doc repeatedly, backing him into the corner. Tana backs off and winds up for his biggest chop yet. Doc rolls out of the way. Tana goes to grab him, but again Doc rolls by. He catches Tana with a clothesline to the back of the head and runs away. Tana tries to pursue, but clearly out of breath, Doc strikes and clocks Tana in the face repeatedly. Tana tries to get momentum back on the side, but his stamina comes into play. Doc, he just wears him down with all those strikes, and finally hits a big shot to the face and locks on that Texas Cloverleaf. 56, not a great match. Alrighty. Ooh. Average 6-minute angle. Really wish this would have been a little bit better, but we're backstage with Sammy Bach and Jason Azaria. Sammy, your match in the second round of the Tournament of Legends is set. You'll be going one-on-one with Doc Hammond. Thoughts? Asks Azaria. Well, me and old Doc definitely have history, both as allies and enemies at different points. But as I said a few weeks ago, my full focus is on one last go at gold. It wouldn't matter if Granny Bach, God rest her soul, was my opponent. My other eye is on the prize, and no one is going to stand in my way. We are white hot at the end of this, though, so let's see how this next match does, because it is time for Hawkins versus T-Bone. We're going to go ahead and read this one out before we get to it, because I think it might be a little bit better. So, Hawkins and T-Bones enter. Normal, it all starts off. Hawkins and T-Bone circle the ring like caged tigers. Hawkins occasionally stepping in towards T-Bone and throwing low kicks to keep his distance. T-Bone tries to shoot on Hawkins, but Hawkins connects with some of those low kicks to the thigh of T-Bone, stopping him from closing the gap. The two circle the ring a couple more times, but then, tired of his games, T-Bone charges Hawkins, thrusting his shoulder into his gut and holding him up over his shoulder, slamming Wolf into the turnbuckle and unloading with furious body blows. Referee Ray Johnson eventually breaks it up at the 5 count, pushing T-Bone backwards as he tries to sneak in some extra blows. The ref lets go and warns T-Bone, who turns around and is met with a spinning wheel kick. T-Bone lands on the ground, head under the bottom ropes. Hawkins grabs his legs and hits a decapitator on T-Bone, and immediately locks in a sleeper to try to capitalize. T-Bone starts to fade, but is able to muster up the strength to get back to his feet, elbowing backwards at Wolf, forcing him to break the hold. T-Bone is keeled over, trying to regain his breath, when Hawkins flips over him, slamming T-Bone with a blockbuster. He goes for a cover, but T-Bone kicks out at 1. Hawkins pivots and returns to the sleeper hold. Again, T-Bone is able to rise to his feet. Hawkins switches his grip and tries to German suplex T-Bone, but after 2 attempts, he rakes his back instead and nails a Pele kick for a 2 count. A frustrated Hawkins pounds the mat before crouching in the corner and signaling that it's time for the full moon rising. Hawkins runs full speed for his running enziguri finisher, but as if he was shot off out of a cannon, T-Bone hits Hawkins with the spear, nearly breaking him in half. T-Bone goes for the cover and gets a near fall. He climbs to his feet, leans against the nearest ropes to regain his breath, and come up with a plan of attack. At that moment, a chorus of boos rained down. The camera cuts to show Flint Slater and Jalen Martins on their ramp, making their way to the ring. They both climb up on the apron, and T-Bone marches over to Wreck Shop. Again, Referee Johnson gets in between the pair and T-Bone, though shouting at the syndicate members to leave. Mighty Mo's music hits, and he appears with chair in hand, booking it towards the ring. Slater and Martins want no part and quickly jump down and run away through the crowd. Mo is able to swing and nearly hit Martins as he escapes, but Martins does escape. The chair bounces wildly off the ropes before Mo stares briefly at T-Bone before chasing after Slater and Martins. T-Bone's kind of confused. He turns around back to his opponent. Wolf Hawkins is there, stood holding the chair. He throws it at T-Bone, who catches it and nails a full moon rising on T-Bone while he's holding the chair. Wolf throws the chair out of the ring, grabs Referee Johnson's attention. He's been kind of trying to figure out what's going on with this chase at ringside. He gets his attention, turns it back to it. T-Bone is starting to have a pool of blood on his forehead, and he makes it back to his knees, though. Wolf Hawkins hits another full moon rising. 1, 2, 3. Wolf Hawkins defeated T-Bone Wright with a full moon rising after a distraction from Mighty Mo. With 80 rating, 75 wrestling, 75 crowd, 79 from Wolf, 72 from T-Bone. Let's go. 2 great matches so far. And yeah, kind of an ambiguous finish to the match. We're not really sure what's going on. Move along now. Nice, not a bad segment either. Post-match, Hawkins makes his way to the back, and Mighty Mo makes his way back into the ring from the crowd. A bloodied T-Bone is crawling towards the ropes, but he runs into Mo first. T-Bone grabs at Mo, try to get his legs out from underneath him, He's crawling over, he plops into Mo, and he's reaching up, just trying to grab his shoulder, grab something to hold on to, and Mo simply backs off and out of the ring. T-Bone drops back down to the mat. Mighty Mo was superb. Wolf Hawkins did not do that great. But again, we're not really sure what's going on. Mighty Mo obviously chasing off the syndicate, but not necessarily aligning himself with T-Bone either. All right. In a decent match that had about that had a decent reaction from the crowd, but subpar wrestling. Chris Flynn defeated the Mass Mauler in 5:41 by submission with the Flintlock. This was the Calm the Crown match. Chris Flynn came out, wreck shot for a little bit, locked on the submission, and got himself a little momentum, and we move along. All right, it is time for our tag team title match. I think. Yes. Whoa. How does that happen? All right. In a bout that had good heat and decent wrestling, H2O defeated Divine Fortune in 11:48 when Matt Hawking pinned Chance Fortune with an FTW. H2O make defense number 4 of the TCW World Tag Team titles. All right, before we even get into the actual match, how do they have zero chemistry as partners, Freddie Huggins and Matt Hawking, that is? If they, I get the whole point of making it random, but can we not have like the tag champs have terrible chemistry together? Woof. Well, I definitely have an idea on how we could pivot that, but we will see. We will see. All right. Divine and Hawking start things off. Their fast-paced offense flowing was one from with one another trying to their offense flowing with one another, and that gets the crowd into things early on. Both men trade arm drags. Divine hits a snapmare. Hawking hits a suplex and a basement dropkick for a 1 count. Hawking goes for a rolling thunder, but Divine gets his knees up just in time for them to drive into Hawking's back. Divine tags in Fortune, and the two hit back-to-back second rope splashes onto Hawking. Fortune stays aggressive, continually attacking Hawking. He goes for a Russian leg sweep, but Hawking reverses it into one of his own and tags in Huggins, who hits up running shooting star press and picks up Fortune. Irish whips him into the ropes and bends over to hit Fortune with a back body drop on the return, but Fortune baseball slides between Huggins' legs and through but oh my gosh, guys, slides through Huggins' legs and tags Divine back in, hitting Huggins with a bullfrog and trying to lock on a crossface like submission, but Huggins swivels his hips and reaches his leg out for a rope break. Divine has a back and forth with Huggins, whose high flying ability proves too much for him when he manages to catch a chop from Divine, jump up on the rope, still holding his opponent's arm, and hit a springboard arm drag. Divine tags back in Fortune, but it's the beginning of the end. A few quick kicks and a Death Valley driver from Huggins to Fortune, followed by a tag out back in with Hawking, each accompanied with a double team attack on Fortune. On his way back after the tag, Huggins runs instead at Divine on the apron, knocking him off with a kick. Fortune tries to attack Hawking, who's still in the ring, out of desperation, but he is turned around and dropped with a neckbreaker from Huggins, followed by another tag to Hawking, who hits a swanton bomb on the down Fortune. And Hawking pins Chance Fortune. They hit the FTW together, and it's the end. And probably the end of that tag team, because nothing we can do about that. That's definitely interesting. 58 rated segment. All right. One angle, and then our main event, guys. All right, and a good 4-minute video package. It's we get a hype video for the main event with highlights of Jay Cord and Greg Gage mixed in with footage of their respective dads wrestling. All right. Give me 1 second, y'all. Gonna get a drink and we're gonna go through the main event. Sorry. The bell rings, and Gage fires a shotgun dropkick at Cord, who shoots backwards into the turnbuckle, the base of his skull bouncing off the pads. Gage runs right back to attack Cord, but he rolls out of the ring to avoid further damage. Gage follows him out there and begins to pummel Cord around the ring, rolling in when Ref Johnson hits a 9 count and rolling back out to continue the fight. Over by the announce desk, Gage bounces Cord's skull off the front of it. Again, Ref Johnson's count hits 9 and Gage rolls back in. When he goes back to continue his attack, Cord DDTs him on the outside and rolls him back into the ring, gloating to the crowd, happy to win by a count out. Gage makes it back in at 7, but is jumped by Cord before he even knows where he is. Cord hits a twisting suplex, then a stomp to Gage's chest before picking him up and hitting a Northern Lights suplex, bridging for the pin attempt and getting a short 2 count. Cord tries too long to get back on offense, though, and Gage shoves him away. Cord comes back, and Gage nails him with a kick to the gut and a springboard cutter for 2. Gage goes for the proton lock, but Cord reverses it into a pin attempt. 1, 2. Gage kicks out, and the two get back to their feet. An intense striking exchange begins, both men landing a few good shots, but Cord wins the battle with a knee to Gage's face. Gage drops to a knee. Cord hits the ropes and rebounds to hit Gage with a... Gage grabs Cord and flips him upside down into the tombstone piledriver position, but instead jumps backwards flipping Cord up horizontal and smashing him down on his knees with a modified lungbuster. Gage transitions into a proton lock, but as soon as he reaches back to bridge the submission, so it says it's a bridging scorpion deathlock. So I'm imagining he's hitting like the scorpion deathlock and then leaning backwards to try and like, grab the neck of J Cord. Cord thumbs Gage's eye, forcing him to break the hold. Cord pounces and hits a high angle impaler DDT for 2. He gets Gage up in the cradle piledriver position, but Gage manages to wiggle free and drop Cord with a super kick before collapsing. The referee begins to count to 10. Almost simultaneously, both men get back to their feet at 9 and begin grappling back and forth. Each man going for a big bomb, but each one having an answer or a reversal for the other. Finally, Gage gets Cord up for a brainbuster, who wiggles free in air, landing on his feet behind Gage and hitting a half and half suplex before dropping Gage damn near on his head. Gage spikes back so hard he flips over and lands face down. Cord picks him up. He gets a ripcord knee and a cradle pile driver. 1, 2, 3. J Cord retains. 21-47. 80. Not a whole lot of great angles, but 3 really good matches. Still, I think the best one was our first, the Aaron Andrews one. But yeah, man. Not bad at all. And I'm pretty excited with how our first pay-per-view went. We're going to go ahead and move on. See what we did. Would have gained popularity in 2 U.S. regions, but, couldn't. The show benefited from having quite a wide selection of angles. Interesting. Never seen that one before. 79 show overall. Gained our popularity a little bit, but still, I think though that lack of good angles hurt us, even though it says right here we benefited from it. Who knows? So I think the way that we're gonna go ahead and rock these from now on is I'm gonna try and after this week get on a 2 episode a week release schedule. I think the game plan will be we will do our 4 episodes or however many episodes of television we have, because there are going to be some months with the new calendar system that we only have 3 episodes in between pay-per-views, and there'll be some that we have 5 weeks in between. But we'll do those episodes. Then I think, as for now, the plan will be every month we will do a video that kind of recaps the storylines, goes over some of the pop changes, anything. And we're not going to go in super in depth unless that's really what you guys want to see. But, I'm just going to kind of hit the high notes just in case people, jumping in at a certain point, not wanting to watch all these videos to be able to know what's going on in the one that they clicked on. Give a quick recap, and then the episode after that will be the pay-per-view. Then we'll start the cycle over again. Like I said, we'll see. That might end up being overkill with like the little recap videos, so we might end up doing it like every other month or even every 3 months. But yeah, let's go ahead and hit finish show. I feel like there's other stuff that we can do now. Address the locker room, yep. Make a post-show speech. Aaron Andrews, man, he is just praised for having a great performance. Flint Slater, I know he is angry, so let's praise him for having a great performance. And then T-Bone Bright, man. What a guy. He has come along so far. To make the speech. Aaron Andrews, pleased. Flint Slater, pleased. T-Bone Bright, pleased. Financial report. Ooh, buddy, we made some money. 2 million. Actually, a little bit more. Popularity recap. We are back up to 75 in all regions besides Puerto Rico and Hawaii, baby. We are back to where we started in America, essentially, and we are up in Canada a couple of points. Let's go ahead and skip through that. And a media scrum. Oh, okay. With tonight's show's complete, you have chosen to take part in a media scrum. Human Arsenal was off his game tonight. Are you disappointed with this inconsistency? Everyone, let's say I'm sure that was a one-off. You recently made a new signing, Aldous Blackfriar. What plans do you have for him? Yo, this is pretty tight, honestly. I like this. This is cool. What plans do you have for him? We've got a very competitive roster, so it will be down to how well he fits in and how hard he works. He will have to work his way up the ladder. That's not a bad one. I have how high hopes behind him, so strong early push. Huge plans feature heavily in the coming months. Let's do a strong early push. Why not? Pleased Aldous backfire. Cool. I don't know if you've noticed, but you have a grand total of one big star under the age of 30. Do you not feel that that reflects badly on you? This appears to be an example of short-term thinking and leaves TCW without a clear succession plan. Yo, these questions are like legitimately good. This is wild. This is maybe the coolest new feature of the game. Um, we got plenty of young talent. It's up for them to grab the brass ring. No, I mean to bring in and develop a whole generation of fresh young talent. Kind of. I've given plenty of people opportunities. No. Unfortunately, there's a lack of real good talent. No. Plans to push some of our current wrestlers really hard to turn them into stars. Let's say we got plenty of young, but we don't really have plenty of young talent. That's the thing. Do I want to bring in and develop a whole fresh generation of young talent? Because I mean, we kind of do. And I did say we're going to replace some of our workers as they go, and we have a couple of our older workers. I mean, we have Human Arsenals retiring in 3 months, and we also have, I think, two of our people leaving soon via contract that I definitely don't plan on re-signing. Let's try it. By all accounts, morale in TCW seems good. Do you take credit for that? I do my part, but I'm lucky enough to work with a lot of great people. That's it. Whoa, we saw Mark Speed have an off night tonight. His inconsistency going to hold him back in TCW. I have faith that he will become more consistent. Any comments or thoughts on the upcoming retirement of Human Arsenal? I'm sure he'll bow out in style. The media scrum has been completed. The post show has been completed. All right, guys. Well, there was our first pay per view and our first media scrum. That was legitimately super cool. I hope you all had fun watching that. And yeah, if you're still watching this point, go ahead and drop a like, subscribe, comment anything you liked or didn't like from the episode. That's how I know y'all are engaged and enjoying what I'm putting out.